Hi, my name is Brad with Crims Chapel Volunteer Fire Department. We're located in Russ County, Texas, in between Henderson and Kilgore. We are a first responder organization. I'm a firefighter paramedic. We've been with this department for over 20 years and been a firefighter paramedic for around 20 years now. I do work as a paramedic for a local agency here in this area, and more or less want to create this public service video to educate and hopefully alleviate some fears that I noticed you'll see from a lot of the public. That's just different. Things unfortunately nowadays are very different, and for the foreseeable future are going to be very different for all of us. Used to, you would arrive and we would greet you with a pair of gloves on, we would meet you, treat you, and you would always see that face. There's always that level of meeting and comfort that you develop there, and rapport with your patient. Now, unfortunately, for our protection, well, fortunately for our protection as well as yours, we're now having to cover most of our face, protect our airways, wear gowns to protect our uniforms and keep them clean, wear gloves and eyewear. So a lot of our faces are now covered, which, you know, it's a lot different talking to an individual when their faces are covered. It's just not quite the same. With that said, you know, many times fire departments, we will go to schools, we'll show videos of what we look like in our full turnout gear with SCBA mask on to help children particularly eliminate their fears and concerns if, God forbid, there were a fire and they were to see us coming for them in a fire. So I kind of hope to do the same thing here. I'm going to show each type of particular face coverage depending on how fortunate the system is that may have acquired it, from least protective to most protective, as well as a couple sets of eyewear. I don't have any gowns here. I do have gloves, but those are kind of self-explanatory. I want to show more of what covers our face and our eyes and help the children understand that this is what they may see if you need an ambulance and we come to your home, especially for the now and foreseeable future. Okay, so obviously this is not going to be optimal for professional grade protection. This would be something that you would want to wear in public, and it at least helps to somewhat contain your saliva or anything that may be exchanged while you're talking during a conversation or coughing or anything like that. If this is what you have to wear, this is better than nothing, especially now the CDC has recommended everybody to wear some kind of face mask. Many other countries have adopted that months before we did. So it's not a bad idea when you're out and about to protect yourself. Even if you're asymptomatic, you may still be infectious, or you are still infectious according to the recent studies. All subject to change in the matter of minutes to hours, but you are symptomatic, you're even more contagious. So if you're symptomatic, please self-isolate. If you're not, you have nothing else better to wear, by all means, wear something that covers your mouth, that protects you when you're talking and conversing, and stay 6 feet away and keep that distance away. Okay, well, I wanted to just demonstrate the surgical mask, but the string broke on the side of it before I even had a chance to really put it on and hold it in place. So I'm going to try to glue that back in. But with that said, standard surgical face mask. This definitely protects against any kind of airborne contaminants or infectious saliva or anything you may expel while you're talking to somebody, having a regular conversation, coughing, anything to that extent. So if you have one of these, by all means do wear it, especially if you're in a high-risk category. So next on the list of protective wear is going to be this fitted dust mask, N95 mask. It's NIOSH rated. This is a very good mask for protecting your airway, and many times you will see EMS agencies wearing something like this. Different color, different variation, all the same purpose, all the same level of protection. So this is something that you probably see more common than not as supplies become more available. And again, they're just different styles, different colors. Next up will be the duckbill. Okay, next up on the list is the duckbill. Pretty self-explanatory. It looks like a duckbill. Kids find these quite funny. Technically, you could probably draw little nose holes or something like that to make them even cuter, but that defaces it and potentially breaks down the protective properties, so it's kind of frowned upon. But with that said, this is the most common that you'll see your medical providers, both pre-hospital and in-hospital, wearing, that may arrive at your house, or as you continue care throughout the process, this would be the most common type you would see.
Okay, so this is by far and away probably the most scariest looking one, or possibly the coolest looking one to most kids. But it has the best seal, has the best filtration and best protection. You can verify your seal as a provider and know that you're getting good protection around your nose and along your chin. These filters are P100 rated, which is more than adequate for viral type infections or other industrial applications. The safety eyewear is generally the over the eyewear style, but they're also very protective of keeping droplets out of your eyes. Obviously, we have two different styles here. Depends on what's available to the provider at the time. But this is a half-piece mask. Probably one of the most scariest seen, but one that's going to become more and more common as this progresses.
Okay, so this is by far and away to be the most intimidating or scary mask. It's obviously optimal for protecting your eyes, your airway, and anything else that may be vulnerable to this virus or any other chemicals or industrial settings. It's not going to be as common as these are quite expensive. They're also they're not only more expensive, they're harder to distribute, and in the numbers that are needed, it's going to be even harder to get out there. You may also see fire departments that will have a mask on the end of their SCBA, or a filter, I should say, on the end of their SCBA. It's very similar to this. So these are the different levels of protection. This is the highest level that you can get to protect your face and your airway.
Okay, so that was a different style of mask. I haven't seen a lot of videos on that, and I hope that helps. These are different times that we're in. This pandemic has changed everything. It's going to be a generational change. More concerning for children. They're going to see masks. They're going to remember these times going forward as people wearing masks, much like the generation that experienced the Great Depression or various wars. This is going to be something much like 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. You're going to remember where you were at when this happened. It's going to change everything that we know. But we're going to get through this. In time, your EMS providers will be back to showing their smiley faces and teeth and happiness, and we'll be back to showing our faces when we meet you at the door and not having all this stuff on, all this gear to protect us and you. And hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later. With that said, continue what you're doing out there, self-isolating if you need to be. If you're showing symptoms, quarantine yourself. Keep your distance when you're at stores. Take care of each other. Be kind to each other. Everybody's stressed right now. Listen to what the health agencies have. I know there's a lot of conflicting information out there, and it can be frustrating, it can be scary. It's even scary for us as providers. But we're going to get through this. We're going to be through with this, we'll be done with it, and we'll move on. Our lives will be different, but we will move on. So take care of each other. God bless you, and we hope you all stay safe, healthy, and well out there.